It's awesome. I mean, to actually say that we've been together 20 years and still going strong. I think even now it's probably even stronger than ever, you know, especially that Kevin's back. And, you know, we've stood the test of times, you know. It's you know, we started 20 years ago. We had amazing, unbelievable success. Rode the wave, went up and down as the wave went up and down, and, you know, and still stayed strong, you know, stuck it through the thick and thin. But that's actually definitely due to the fact that we just have such great fan base, and they've been the ones that have helping us, you know, stick through it all and be the glue. And that's why we're so excited to be putting on this fan event for them today, because they really are a part of our lives, and they've celebrated this with us. It's 20 years together.
It's really hard to sort of put together, to think about exactly the defining moment, because we've been doing this for 20 years, and I mean, you could go. When we first went over to Europe and broke in Germany and got our first gold record, that was a defining moment for us. I mean, even if we just had success in Europe by itself, that would have been a feat, you know, for us. I always look at it like the future. It's like, what's next? You know, what's the next big thing? I think this star that we're going to be receiving on the Walk of Fame is really, to me, it's very similar to being inducted into like the Football Hall of Fame in some ways. So I feel it's how I feel that's another moment, and I feel like we're going to continue to get more and more.
You know, every album that we make, you know, we really put our heart and soul into it. You know, an album process for the Backstreet Boys, and I think it's why, you know, over the past, you know, 10 years, we haven't had them, you know, out as fast as we did in the early years, because we're now getting a lot more involved, and we're really, you know, putting a lot more creative efforts into the making of the records. This album here, we definitely co-wrote, if not wrote, a good, you know, 85–90% of this record. But, you know, looking back, you know, there's always records that you look back and you say, wow, this is one of my favorite songs. I wish it would have, you know, gotten out, you know. I think there was a song on this last record that we did, This Is Us, a song called Undone, that I think that was one of my favorites. I remember even actually letting Kevin listen to the album ahead of time.
By Ryan Tedder.
It was written by Ryan Tedder, exactly, and it was something that we all kind of really felt that was a really different and unique thing, but I think the record company felt it was a little too different for us, and so they went with the normal. Now the fact that we're, you know, we're by ourselves and doing this on our own, we have the opportunity to really, you know, spread our wings and really try to, you know, be a little bit more creative and taking the chances now more so on this record.
It's pretty much done. I say 90%, 95% done. We're really waiting on the song from Max Martin and Christian London, which in the studio it's just magical, because that's a team that we had worked with in the past, and obviously Max did I Want It That Way, and you know, Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely, Backstreet's Back, what's the other one? Larger Than Life. You name it, he's done them all. So we're waiting for that song. I was in some way pleasantly surprised, because I didn't listen to a lot of the demos for a while, and I was like, wow, I feel like we've really grown into some pretty darn good writers, and I think it was difficult for other people to A&R our project, because they didn't know where to take the boys. They didn't know where we could go. What kind of song can you give them? Well, you guys are over, you know, 20 years, you know. But we live it, and so now that we're writing our music, we see our path better than anyone else out there. We see what we could sound good singing better than anyone else out there, and it really it's pop music, but I think we represent, in my opinion, a special pop music that only we can do, and that's really what it still sounds like.
We're just now right in the very early stages of, you know, the creative ideas of what the stage is going to look like. We just put our song, you know, show list together, and every day that we're getting closer and closer, I'm getting more excited, because I think you know, we always pride ourselves in putting on a great show, and sometimes in the early stages it's always like, wow, you know, how are we going to put this all together, these great ideas, but we somehow or another always you know, find a way to make it a really spectacular show where people come, you know, for 2 hours, get away from all their problems at home. You know, we take them a trip down memory lane, as well as introduce the new record to them, which we're very proud of.
Well, one that really was pretty amazing, we went down to Rio, and we were doing promotion for our Black and Blue record, and so we hopped on this plane and went all around the world, and you know, literally got off for about a couple hours in Tokyo, then flew to Australia, then flew to in Cape Town, South Africa, and we're able to really hit all these different areas. And so we went to Rio, and we hopped in this bus, and there was, I'd say, 300,000 people in the streets. And when you look at the, I mean, literally in the streets. So our bus could barely move through the crowd. We finally got to the hotel, and we wanted to see all the fans. So we went to the top of the hotel and tried to sing a song and like wave to them from the top of it. And it just looked like a sea of over hundreds of thousands of people. And that was pretty memorable in my opinion. Thank you for being here for 20 years and supporting us, and you know, through all the thick and thin and the ups and downs, and you know, the highs and the lows, and thank you for still being here, getting ready for the next big step in the Backstreet Boys career. New album, new tour, all these different things. We hope you are excited as we are, you know, to present it to you guys.
And thank you also as well to Perez Hilton for all the many years of love and support. We really appreciate you, bro, sticking behind us and all the love you've shown us.